Join me as we welcome your hosts, the sweethearts of the industry, James and Regina Howard.
Good evening and welcome to A Sound Voice Live. Of course, I'm Regina Howard.
And I'm James Howard, and tonight we have a great show and we have a great lineup. Tonight we have in the house none other than Darwin and Traci Hobbs.
Yes. We're also joined by Miss Silver Benson, the founder of YGEA, and we'll tell you what that's all about as you stay tuned. And tonight, right now, we're going to introduce you to Atlanta's own Darwin and Traci Hobbs.
Well, thanks for having us.
You are so welcome. Listen, there's a lot that we want to cover.
Good.
With Darwin and Traci. And that means that you have an interesting life.
Yes.
Everybody knows Darwin Hobbs, the singer. But we want to talk about Darwin Hobbs, the husband.
Okay.
Darwin Hobbs, the community
Okay.
activist and working with ministry and praise and worship leader.
Yes.
And marriage.
Yes.
In ministry.
Yes.
We want to delve into that a little bit.
Okay.
Now, first, we know that you have a new project coming out, Free.
Yes.
That is something that we could all benefit from, because
Absolutely.
every last one of us need to be free.
Absolutely.
From something at one point in our lives.
Absolutely.
So talk to us a little bit about the project, how it came about, and the title cut.
Okay. Well, first, thank you guys for having us, because there's not enough examples like you and James. So we just, Traci and I both so appreciate it. But yeah, I'm very excited about my new record that's coming, and it's entitled Free, mainly because that's my favorite song on the album. But I wrote the song Free. I have a powerful testimony that, and the Bible declares that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. We overcome the accuser of the brethren by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And I'm a survivor of childhood sex abuse. And so I've been released to tell my story to thousands, to millions, to whoever wants to hear it or will listen, because God's kind of put a mandate on me to bring awareness and prevention to the subject, especially in church. We just don't talk about this kind of stuff enough. And so, you know, at first I was lamenting over telling the story because, you know, I don't want people knowing my business, but that's just part of the bondage that I was under, you know. And so I wrote a song called Free, when it was 2 days after the perpetrator of my child abuse died. I wrote the song, and you know, the words are simple: free from my past, free from the pain, free from the guilt that would cause me to be ashamed. And so, you know, the record is really a praise and worship album, but that one song is kind of the glue for it all. And it's just, to me, I want that to be the prevailing message in the record, because I want to encourage people to deal with their issues and pursue liberty and pursue freedom, because I believe that's the will of the Lord really for anybody's life. And it doesn't have to be childhood sex abuse. I mean, people have been dealing with many things in their life, any number of things, but anything that shadows and overrides really the will of God in your life, and that would cause you to live in fear or pain and shame, and you know, it's not the will of God for your life. And so the Bible says, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. And so, you know, I'm just encouraging people to pursue their freedom. We've already really been set free. I'm just encouraging people to realize that and to walk in that.
Exactly. Walk in that freedom.
It's interesting that you say that. Traci, being a wife and dealing with everything that your husband has dealt with, how do you helpmate him, and how do you continue to be his support?
Well, just a lot of encouragement, a lot of support, and just sometimes just being a listening ear, sometimes providing a shoulder to cry on, or a chest to lay on at night. Just being there, just knowing that whatever the situation is, you know, that we are one, we go through it together. We're encouraging each other, and that's just the best thing you can be, you know, just the best thing you can do.
I think we were talking a little bit earlier before we actually started the show, and everybody that's married has a little black bag. And the two of you come together, both of you with your bag. So you can't run it the first sign of trouble.
No.
That's right.
No.
You've got to, what can you say to encourage couples? Because there are couples that are working together in ministry. There are couples that don't want to work together in ministry because of their luggage.
Yes.
Or because of their baggage. But being a vocal, a resounding voice that's standing up,
Yes.
and not being afraid or being in bondage anymore, and sharing your testimony. How can you encourage other couples? Because it's like you said, it might not be childhood sex abuse. You've got couples that are going through right now finances. Can keep them in
Absolutely.
bondage.
Absolutely.
Emotional abuse can keep them in bondage.
Yes.
But what would you say to those couples to encourage them to stick it out?
Well, I mean, it's funny that you would say something about what you come into the marriage with, because we believe that whoever you marry, however old that person is, that's, let's say you're 30 and the other person's 30. That's 60 years combined of history coming together. So, people really don't think about what's happened before the time that they meet or join themselves with a person, but whatever that person has as their history, it becomes yours when you join as one flesh. And so it's important. I like what you said about the black bag, because most people don't think about that. And they think I'm just marrying this person, who this person is now. But we come into marriages with a lot of baggage, and whether it's good or bad, you're joining yourself to all that person is. So I think that not just the baggage comes when I married Traci, but I mean, we're kind of abnormal because we've been best friends since 5th grade. So her black bag, I had witnessed a lot of it, I should say. Or I might have been the black bag. But, so I might have caused the blackness. But, we believe that there's not just Traci and I in the union, but we believe that it's a 3-strand cord, and we believe that God is a third part of our covenant. So I just encourage people to lean heavily on the third party within the covenant, because there's days when I tell you we want to throw in the towel on each other, but we're so committed to the third party, which is the Lord. And so it's because there's some days I'm sure I get on Traci's nerves bad enough where she's not committed to me in her, in her mind. She's like, you're getting on my nerves. And so, but I would hope to say, or hope to think that her level of commitment to the Father supersedes any day her level of commitment to me. So I just encourage whoever's watching to press into God, in your marriage and in life, period, because it's hard out here. It's a strange season, in my opinion.
Yes.
And lots of hopelessness, with the economy and which there's no recession in the kingdom, I don't believe. Right. And so, but there's a lot of hopelessness, a lot of despair. And so it begins to affect every area of your life, especially the marriages, So I think you can interject if you want, but I would just say to maintain as much intimacy as you can with the third party. Yeah. Of course, it goes without saying to romance your spouse and to be intimately involved with your spouse and all that. That's a given, I hope. If it's not, then you need to do that as well. But I mean, I think the most important thing that people don't emphasize is the third party in the marriage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I really admire what you say about that, and we want people to know we're going to be real. And we've gone through it. There's been plenty of times Regina said to me, I don't want to be married to you.
Right.
And I don't want you to, I don't want to work with you.
Right.
And
this is what I do.
get the little red bag.
Right. But the good thing about it is that we keep God first.
Mm-hmm.
And by us keeping God first, it just seems like I know I can go to him.
Absolutely.
When I can't deal with my wife, and she's my best friend, and we're together, and I can't deal with her, I can go to God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the question that I have for Traci, I wanted to find out all the stuff you go through, him traveling, him being in the studio all day, all types of the night. How do you maintain? Do you travel with him? Do you go to the studio, or do you just say, I'm going to be here when he comes home so he can forget about that and just come home as a normal person?
Well, actually, it's twofold. I do travel with Darwin, So that's the good part
Great.
About our relationship, which is good because I'm able to be there, and because he's ministering, I like to uphold him in prayer, and because I'm